Greetings and welcome to our Introduction to Outlook 2016 course. My name is Neil Zimmerman from Dorset Connects, and I will be leading you through this introductory training today. My contact information is shown on the screen. If you have any questions after the tutorial, please feel free to email me, call me, or you can also contact me via Twitter at ITBuddy. Again, today's call is going to go over Outlook 2016. For those of you new to it, we're going to review the interface, what's different, what's new, and as well how to perform several common tasks. If you have used Outlook 2013, there's very, very little difference. If you've used Outlook 2010, there is a slight difference, though certainly not insurmountable. If you're an Outlook 2003 or Outlook 2007 user, this will be your introduction to the ribbon and some of the new user interface commands. So it may look a little different, but you're still going to do things pretty much the same way that you've always done. So let's talk about our overview. Basically, what is new? What does Outlook 2016 look like? This is it. This is your Outlook Today window. And as you can see, it's comprised of different sections, and we're going to take a moment to go through all of those sections. First off, we have the menu bar. And you've had a menu bar in every version of Outlook. It's still there, and this is where you find all your commands. However, what you're going to notice is the menus are no longer drop-down menus. Rather, they open up the ribbons, as you can see below here, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But the ribbon is really what controls or contains all of the commands that you're used to seeing in your menus. The menu bar is made up of 5 particular menu items. The file menu, which we'll get to in a moment, the home menu, it's where you see things like new. The send and receive controls all things regarding sending and receiving messages, pretty obvious. The folder menu allows you to create new folders, search your folders, apply rules, sorting, set your auto archive settings. You can see anything kind of related to what you do with a folder. And finally, the view menu is just that. Allows you to see or control what you see on the screen and how you see it. You can turn things on and off, like the to-do bar, which is a listing of your tasks. You can close items, open new windows. So again, controlling relating to view. As I mentioned, we have the file menu, and I said I would come back to that. If you go to the file menu, this is now what is called the Backstage area. Office 2013 introduced the Backstage area. And the Backstage area is what you may be used to if you used to go to the Tools menu and went to Account Settings or Options. You'll find a lot of the same information here. For instance, your account settings. And it shows you what your Outlook web mail address is. In this case, you can see it under Account Settings. There's a highlighted URL, outlook.office365.com, blah, blah, blah. That's how you get to OWA, or Outlook Webmail. Where you sit your out-of-office replies. Click on the button for automatic replies. You can create your out-of-office rules. Mailbox cleanup allows you to do things such as your archive settings, empty your deleted items. So when you start getting warnings that your mailbox is getting too big, you can run some of the cleanup tools. They're wizard-driven, so they're very easy and simple to use. If you don't know, you do have a 50 gigabyte mailbox in Office 365, which is huge considering in the old days, if you got close to 2 gigabytes, Outlook would stop working properly. So now you can go up to 50, though I certainly wouldn't advise against it. Rules and alerts. If you want to set up particular messages to pop up when you get email from certain people, or you want rules that automatically move messages containing certain words or from certain people into particular folders or mark them as important or whatever, that's where you do your rules and alerts. On the left-hand side, and what I have is a blue pane, is where you control options such as printing, where you can exit Outlook. There's an open and export if you have a PST or you want to export your data to a PST file, different things. We're not going to go into that now. This is just an overview, but this is where you find it, all within the backstage. Going back to our main screen, I mentioned we do have the ribbon. The ribbon is, again, all the related commands or icons that are associated with the various menu items that you are on. And they're going to change. They are content sensitive, meaning, and you'll see this as you go through Outlook, when you're creating a new message, the commands in the ribbon are different than what you see if you're creating a new contact. And we will see that again as we go. But this is the ribbon. It is somewhat customizable in that you can add and remove commands to it if you have frequently used items. On the left-hand side, we have the folder list. The folder list is comprised of 2 sections. The top part is favorites, and these are completely customizable. You just drag any folder up into your favorites so you have quick, easy access to them. And then, of course, you have your main folders, including your inbox, your deleted items, your junk mail, your outbox. And if you've created subfolders, you would see them in there as well. Below the folder list is the navigation pane. This is a little different. This was available in 2013. It's also now in 2016. You've always seen it. It just looks a little differently. You can navigate to things like your email. It's a little mail icon, envelope. And that, when you click on that, takes you to a view of your inbox. The calendar icon, as you might imagine, is going to take you to your calendar. And the calendar can be viewed just as it always has in month or week or day, etc. If you have access to somebody else's calendar, you will see that available here as well. Contacts are now called people. All right, Microsoft changed it. It's no longer called contacts. It's now called people. And when you click on that, this takes you into your people view or your contact folder. We have one contact, me. Yay, me. So that's a contact. You also, if you click on the little ellipses, you have access to other items, your task list if you use it, if you use Outlook Notes, if you want to create new folders or create new shortcuts to different things, you can do so here. Again, beyond the scope of this course, this is just an introduction. If you'd like more information, I'll show you where you can get all that when we hit the end of the program. So that's a basic overview of Outlook. Let's talk about how you do some common things. And when we think about Outlook and the common things we do, what is the most common thing we do in Outlook? Right, we create new messages. We send email. We also read email. Pretty much, you create a new message from the home screen. You just click on New Email. When the new email opens, this is what it looks like. I'm not going to go through all the process of creating a message. I think now that it's 2015, almost 2016, most people know how to create an email message. Obviously, you can type in the person's address. You could click the To button and pull them from your address book if you wanted. You can CC people. Same as you've always done. This has not really changed. subject line, pop in your message. You can add attachments, right? And you can see there's an include section in the ribbon that has an attached file. You can add your signature, various different things. If you click on attach file, this is new in the newer versions of Outlook, and I want to take a moment and just talk about that. When you click on attach file, you're going to see a drop down of files that you've recently worked on. You see I have a holiday party invitation, I have a contact Excel file, and it shows me where they're located. So files that you've recently worked on are available to you automatically, because Outlook is going to use a little artificial intelligence, if you will, and say, okay, well, you've been working on these files. There's a pretty good chance if you're trying to send somebody an attachment, it may be one of those files you were just working on. So it'll provide you that quick list. If what you want is not there, you can look elsewhere. This is also very cool and very new. As an Office 365 subscriber, you have access to certain web locations. We tell people, save your files in your OneDrive account. Your OneDrive, which is a different course, is online storage for which everybody gets 1 terabyte worth of data. So instead of your My Documents, which you store on your PC, you save stuff in your OneDrive. This way it's in the cloud, it's accessible from no matter where you are in the world. You don't worry that if your PC broke or hard drive crashed or you got a virus that your data would be lost. Everything is safe up in the cloud. It's important to also note that there are 2 different OneDrives. If you are an Office 365 subscriber through your company, you will have OneDrive - your company name. That is your OneDrive for business. You also see here you have a OneDrive - personal. That comes with Office. All right? Every version of Office allows you to save directly to a personal OneDrive account. It's free. You set it up by creating a Microsoft Live ID. It's confusing. Microsoft is going to change the name so we don't have 2 things called OneDrive, but you want to just focus on the one that has your company name on it. That is your OneDrive for business. You could also save, if you notice, there's something called Sites with your company name. That's a SharePoint, your SharePoint libraries. Office 365, we use SharePoint as a company intranet, a place for collaboration for storing shared documents, calendars, task lists, project planning, whatever it might be. So the point is here that within Outlook, you can add attachments directly from a SharePoint library or your OneDrive without having to go to the web, download it, then add it to the attachment. All right. You notice there's also an option to browse this PC. If you have something saved on your C drive or on your desktop, you would just use that to look there. Once the attachment is added, obviously you click send and you've created a new message. So give yourself a round of applause. Another common thing people do is they create appointments and meetings. Okay, we know an appointment, if you're not sure, is something for you. You're the only one going. You have an appointment. You have a doctor's appointment, or you're going to get your hair cut, or you have whatever it might be. It's something for you. A meeting is something that you are inviting other people to, participants, more than just yourself. So we're going to talk about how to create a new meeting. The process is the same for a new appointment, but we're going to look at a new meeting. So from the home screen, if you're on the calendar view that we talked about earlier, if you're looking at your calendar, the home screen, rather than saying new message, is going to have new appointment or new meeting. The key for a meeting is to choose who your attendees are. Okay, inviting people to it, as I said. So you put in your attendees, the subject, what are you meeting about, where are you meeting, When are you meeting? Now, this is an interesting thing that's important to note if you've never used it before, is you want to schedule a meeting with somebody, but you don't know if they're going to be available at the time. Now, this is only going to work with people within your company. You're not going to be able to see somebody on AOL's calendar. But we have something called the scheduling assistant. And if you click up in the top on the meeting menu item, you're going to get to go to what is called the scheduling assistant. And the scheduling assistant shows you everybody that you've invited, and it shows you their free and busy time if you can see it. Now, unfortunately, in this case, you see all the slash lines. That's because I am sending from one company, IAMCP Philadelphia at Outlook.com, and I'm inviting somebody from outside, from at DorsetConnects.com. So I don't really get to see their free busy. If I'm seeing somebody from my organization, those gray lines would be no longer there if the person was available, or I would see blocked out time if they already had a meeting. But if you're trying to schedule something with people in your company, or maybe you have a conference room or some other sort of resource that you want to schedule, that can be used to show, oh, gee, sorry, we can't use that conference room. It's already booked at the time. I got to go to another conference room, or perhaps we need to reschedule the appointment. So the scheduling assistant is a great, great tool. Finally, when you're done, you send the invitation. Pretty straightforward. Another thing people do is they also create contacts. And if you use that little navigation bar that we discussed earlier, and you're all viewing your people, the home screen, the ribbon, wouldn't say new message, wouldn't say new appointment or meeting. It would have new contact, just like you see here. Now, there are actually a couple different ways to create contacts. The easiest way is from an email. Somebody sends you an email, you want to add them to your contact list. Simply open up the message. You go up to the top where you see their name, you right-click on it, and you choose from the menu, Add to Outlook Contacts. What's going to happen? A little contact window is going to come up. You can fill in the new contact form if you want to add a phone number or an address or anything else. You want to change the display name. You go ahead, you add all in, you hit save, you've created a new contact. So directly from an email message, easiest way. You can also do it from scratch by creating that new contact button. And here you have the full contact sheet where you can fill in, the company's web address, person's home phone number, fax number, cell phone number, their mailing address. You may note there's a little button down at the bottom here. If you see this called Map It, once you've put in their address, you can click Map It, and it'll show using Microsoft Maps the location. So you can get driving directions if you had a meeting or something of that sort. There's a lot more to contacts. I mean, you can add in things such as their husband or wife's name, their kids' birthdays, sort of make it into more of a CRM type of feel. Beyond the scope of this course again, but we can show more information about that. So that's really the basics of the common tasks and an overview of the Office 2016 interface. You can get more information by visiting our training center at DorsetConnects.com/training_center, training center. And I'll show you that before we close out. Also, I invite you to post questions on Twitter. If you're a Twitter user, you can post this at ITBuddy, #OfficeHelp. The nice thing about this is you may not be the only one with the same question. So using sort of that community-based support, you ask a question, you post it. If I answer it, which I will, but if somebody else had the same question, now they get the answer too. And that just helps people collaborate, and I think that's really a good idea. Let me just show you the training center here. Again, DorsetConnects.com, Training Center, and I'll just move that onto the screen here. Okay, here's our training center. And as you scroll through, you can get to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneNote, OneDrive, Skype for Business, and Office 365 training. So just as an example, if we went to our Outlook training, there are courses you can take. We've included training for the Mac. As well, there's a tip sheet or quick start guide for all of our key applications that you can download. I'll just show it to you quickly. Open it up. And here you have a quick start guide. Goes over a lot of what we discussed. Setting up rules, views, new items. Okay. Other quick start guides. You download them, you print them out, you save them, whatever works for you. But you have quick start guides that will certainly help. And again, there's training. This takes you directly to the Microsoft created courseware. Here's an Outlook 2016 training. When you go into the course, it has videos for you to watch as well as printed instructions. Just to give you a quick overview, video on how to compose and send email, as well as a printout of the steps, how to change your formatting, etc. So lots of good information that you can use here. Again, you can get to it all right off of our website, DorsetConnects.com/training center. So that concludes our presentation. I thank you very much for joining us. Again, feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thank you.